Gaur Premanande Hari Hari Bo. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunnavadi Paschatta Dishatarine Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Hare Krishna. So, everyone is happily situated. You are enjoying your stay here. Are you benefiting spiritually coming here? And so, I'm happy to hear that. Thank you. So, we are discussing about Krishna's pastimes out of Vrindavan. So when Krishna left Vrindavan, Balaram also left Vrindavan. Balaram also is very much involved in Vrindavan. They grew up together and they had their wonderful pastimes with the devotees there. And so, at one point in time, Balaram decided to go to Vrindavan also. So, as you know, Balaram is the leader of the cowherd boys group. The cowherd girls groups are centrally around Srimati Radharani, and there is another group, contesting group among the girls. That the contesting group is Chandravali's group. And Radharani's group is Radharani is in the center, and then she has 8 sakhis, and it's like a lotus having different petals. So these petals, the lotus petals you have seen, it grows in rows. One circle of petals, then after that another. So in the first circle, there are 8 sakhis around Srimati Radharani. And then they have their subgroups. And that comprises the second group. The second group has 100 gopis. So this is how there are 108 gopis, the principal. So we often question why we have 108 beads. These 108 beads are actually signifying 108 gopis. And 108 also is a transcendental number, therefore. 108 Upanishads. 108 is considered to be the auspicious transcendental number, therefore. So, and this is how the petal, the lotus expands. Ultimately, there are thousands of petals. Actually, Golok Vrindavan has been described like a lotus with thousands of petals. Sahasra Patra Kamala Gokulakho Mahatpadam. The thousands of petaled lotus-like is Vrindavan. Gokul. Same is Navadvip. Therefore it's Navadvip, one central island, and around that there are 8 other islands. So together that makes it 9 islands, Navadvip. So Srimati Radharani has 8 principal sakhis, and in the boys group, cowherd boys group, Balaram is the leader, and he has 12 principal cowherd boys. They are known as Dwadash Gopal. Dwadash means 12 Gopals. Balaram also has his set of girlfriends. Just as Krishna has his set of girlfriends in Vrindavan, Balaram also has his set of girlfriends. And just as Krishna dances rasa dance, Balaram also has his rasa dance. And so when Balaram went, he had his exchange, loving exchange with his intimate associates there. And Balaram stayed in Vrindavan for 2 months, Madhu and Madhava. These are the 2 months of spring. In simple hour calculation, it will be something like 15th April to 15th June. So, in India there are 6 seasons. In the West, there are 4 seasons. Summer, autumn, winter, spring. But in India there are 6 seasons. 2 extra seasons are Varsha, monsoon, and Sharat. So Balaram went there during the springtime and spent 2 months of the springtime there. And but during the day he used to have his loving exchange with his cowherd boyfriends, and at night, like Krishna, he also used to have his loving exchange with his gopika friends. So in the company of numerous gopis, he enjoyed in a garden by the Jamuna river. So he was sporting with them. And Balaram, as you know, is fond of drinking a drink called Varuni. And it is considered to be intoxicating. But we have to understand that this is transcendental intoxication. Not like mundane intoxication. So, and this Varuni was flowing from the hole of a tree. It was flowing from and Balaram, along with his girlfriends, he was drinking that. The Varuni liquor flowed from the hollow of a tree, and Balaram and his female companions drank that. So after that, Balaram became excited. So he wanted to bathe in Jamuna, sport in Jamuna with his girlfriends. So Jamuna said, Balaram said, Jamuna, come here. I want to bathe in your water. Jamuna didn't respond. Balaram became very angry. I am telling you to come here and you are not coming. What disobedience. So in this way Balaram became very upset, and he picked up his plough and he started to pull Jamuna. So Dasavatar Stotram describes that halahati bhiti jamunabham. Halahati, being afraid of dragged by the hala is plough, Jamuna came to Balaram. And then Balaram sported in the water of Jamuna, and along with the girls there, and Prabhupada pointed out that even now we see that Jamuna is flowing in many, even today we can see how Jamuna is flowing through many channels created actually when she was dragged by Balaram's plow. Jamuna is flowing, but some part Jamuna is spread into many channels, and that is because Balaram dragging. Still now that impression is there. So this is how Balaram's visited Vrindavan, stayed there for 2 months, and gave immense delight to the residents of Vrindavan, those who are suffering due to the separation of Krishna. So when Balaram was away from Dwarka, there was a ruler of a province called Kurusha, and the name of that ruler is Poundraka. Poundraka, he became quite, as we use the expression, fired up because his followers were telling him that he is actual Vasudeva. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So being kind of pepped up by them, he started to believe that he is actually Vasudeva. He is the original Vasudeva and Krishna is the fake Vasudeva. So he started to even dress up like Krishna. He fixed 2 more arms and thus tried to assume as if he has 4 arms. And he challenged Krishna. He sent a message to him that, give up my personal weapons. Don't pretend to be me. I am the real Vasudeva. And give up my personal weapons and surrender unto me, and don't use my title. And if you don't, then I will teach you a lesson. And if you don't want to accept my order, then you fight with me and I'll teach you a lesson. So he sent a messenger. This is how the kings used to send the messengers. Generally the messengers used to be Brahmanas, and the messenger used to convey the message just exactly the way it is. They acted like a tape recorder. So those days they used to have living tape recorders, because these Brahmanas had such wonderful memory that whatever they would hear once, they would immediately repeat it. They can repeat it absolutely, exactly, ditto. So he sent a message to the messenger saying, give up my personal weapons, which you foolishly carry, and come to my shelter, or give me a battle. So Krishna laughed, and he told the messenger that I'll indeed let you have those weapons. He was specially asked for the chakra. And I will I release the chakra, but not for your hand, but for your neck. So Krishna then went to Karusha province and Krishna saw that he was exactly dressed like him, just like an actor on a stage. He had two hands fixed up, and with those he was carrying 4 weapons, conch, disc, mace and sword. And he also had the imitation Shanga bow. He also had an imitation Kaustava jewel on his chest. He was exactly dressed like him, like wearing yellow garment. And his friend, when Krishna came to attack him, Pondraka's friend, the king of Kashi, Kashiraj also came to assist him in this battle with his 3 Akshavini soldiers. And naturally, a big battle ensued. And those battles used to be so fierce and so many soldiers used to die that literally there used to be a flow of river. Blood was, a river of flowing blood. So, and then as Krishna told, that he released his Sudarshan Chakra. And Sudarshan Chakra went and cut off his head. His friend Kashiraj also came to fight with Krishna, and Krishna shoot an arrow at him. That arrow not only cut his head, but carried his head all the way to Kashi, Benares, and landed in front of the palace. So everyone was surprised what it is, and they found that it was the head of the king. So his son, the king's son, Sudakshina, became very upset, very angry that he decided to take revenge. But he knew that he won't actually be able to fight with Krishna. So he worshipped Lord Shiva. You incidentally remember that Lord Shiva's place, Benares, Kashi, is Lord Shiva's place. So the king of Kashi was a devotee of Lord Shiva, and so his son worshipped Lord Shiva just by eating dust for 1 year. This is how he performed severe austerity. And Lord Shiva instructed him to worship the Sudakshina fire. So this Sudakshina fire, when he worshipped, performing sacrifice, performing yajna, that I'm sorry, not Sudakshina was Dakshinangri fire. Dakshinangri fire, and from the fire a terrible demon appeared. And the demon was naked and extremely vicious looking. And so the demon then went to Dwarka with an intention of destroying Dwarka. Now, no matter materially how powerful one may be, can anyone ever stand against Krishna? That we are seeing time and time again. Otherwise, these are very powerful, like these demons, and especially this demon was actually created to destroy Dwarka, to take revenge. And so seeing that this terrible demon coming with blazing fire and burning everything on its way, the residents of Dwarka became very, very afraid. And then Krishna released his Sudarshan Chakra. So when Sudarshan Chakra was released, the power of the Sudarshan Chakra was so severe that the demon ran for his life. So, and what did the demon do? He came back to Kashi and he killed all the priests that were performing the sacrifice, and he killed Shudakshina also. So this is one thing also, like with this black magic or cultivation of black power. If they fail in their mission, then they come and attack the person who actually released them. Therefore, it has been warned, be careful when you use this kind of black power. So, and this Sudarshan Chakra of Krishna then burnt the entire city of Kashi. So when Krishna was in the assembly, one day, one messenger came. This messenger carried an appeal from 20,800 kings that were arrested by Jarasandha. And they came with an appeal that please do something to release us. This wicked king Jarasandha has captured us. So, at around that time, another messenger came when they were discussing what to do, how to deal with Jarasandha. The kings have appealed, so we need to do something about it. And Jarasandha was extremely powerful, so they were considering what to do, how to deal with him. And we already know that Krishna defeated Jarasandha 17 times already. There was some reason why Krishna did not kill Jarasandha. So Jarasandha was extremely powerful, and they were actually, the king would sit with the ministers and others, in a council, and they would discuss how to deal with the situation. So when they were discussing in this way, another messenger came with a message from Yudhishthir Maharaj. Yudhishthir Maharaj expressed his desire to perform Ashwamedh Yajna, Rajasuya Yajna. So Yudhishthir Maharaj always used to consult with Krishna, so here also he sent this messenger and he told Krishna that please give us your blessings and let us know whether we should perform the yajna or not. And so Krishna then considered that Yudhishthira Maharaj wants to perform Rajasuya Yajna. The Rajasuya Yajna takes place when, after one conquers all the kings of the planet. So Rajasuya Yajna makes one the ruler of the entire earth planet. So, in order to become the sovereign king of the entire earth planet, other kings had to come under his subservience. And if somebody, like a sacrifice would take place in this way, that a horse would be sent out. And this horse, wherever the horse would go, the king of that place either had to accept the authority of that king, the superiority of that king, and submit himself, or challenge him in a fight. And the king's soldier would be going there with the horse, and the battle would take place. And if the sender of the challenge horse's army was defeated, then he won't be able to perform Rajasuya. That would disqualify him. So Krishna considered that in performing Rajasuya, the biggest opponent will be Jarasandha, because Jarasandha is inimical towards Krishna. So we have to defeat Jarasandha. And he also considered that if we can kill Jarasandha, then all these 20,800 kings that Jarasandha has kept in prison, they will become supportive. So Krishna decided these two considerations, that releasing the king and facilitating Yudhishthira Maharaj to perform Rajasuya Yajna. So Krishna went to Hastinapur and he consulted with Yudhishthira Maharaj. Now, it was very difficult to actually defeat Jarasandha, because Jarasandha was invincible. Jarasandha had a very special kind of a birth. Jarasandha's father, Brihadrat, he didn't have any son. Now the kings, if they don't have a successor to the throne, they become very disheartened, because the king has to have an appropriate successor to maintain or continue the activity of ruling the kingdom. So, and he was very, very disheartened, very upset, very heartbroken. He was so heartbroken that at one time he just went to the forest along with his wife. And so in the forest he came across a rishi, a saint. His name is Chandrakausak. And he could understand what was the cause of agony and anguish in the hearts of Jarasandha's father, Brihadrat. And he admitted that he doesn't have a son. So the sadhu, the saint, gave him a mango and to your wife, and she'll get a son. Now Brihadrat came back to his palace. He had 2 wives, and he wanted to be equally disposed to both the wives. So he cut the fruit in half and gave it to his 2 wives. So the wives took the mango, half of the mango each, and in course of time they became pregnant. But when they gave birth to the child, it was a ghastly sight. Each one gave birth to 1/2 of a child. So King Brihadra, thinking that, it's so ghastly, so inauspicious. So he arranged to throw it away. So that night, a demoness, Rakshashi, called Jara, he was delighted to see this newborn babies, half bodies. So, generally the Rakshashis love human meat, and especially baby meat. So she was very delighted, and just while playing, she just put two halves together, and immediately the baby became alive. So she took some pity. Oh, newborn baby, I won't kill this baby. Rather, the king doesn't have any child. I'll just give this baby to the child, a baby to the king. So she went and gave this baby to the king, telling the whole story so the king could understand what actually happened. This half that she got were actually the half of his own offspring. So this Jarasandha in course of time became extremely powerful and extremely demoniac. All the demoniac kings sided together with Jarasandha. And so Jarasandha was, so Krishna considered that it will be difficult to defeat Jarasandha in a battle. Therefore, it will be better to deal with Jarasandha alone. And who would deal with Jarasandha? The only person, only one who can deal with Jarasandha is Bhima. Now, they couldn't just go and ask for a single battle like that. So, they decided to go like Brahmanas. Now, an interesting thing to consider here, the Jarasandha was very pious, on the other hand. Like whenever a Brahmana came to him and asked for something, Jarasandha never refused him. So that's why they decided to go as Brahmanas. And so they went to Jarasandha and as Brahmanas. So Jarasandha asked, please tell me, what can I do for you? What do you want? They said, we will tell you at midnight. So Jarasandha said, fine, please take rest, get freshen up. So they were treated very nicely by Jarasandha. So at midnight, Jarasandha came to them and asked, please tell me, what can I do for you? What can I offer you? So Krishna said, this brother of mine is very fond of wrestling. So he wants to wrestle with you. So then Jarasandha said, I knew you are not Brahmanas. You are dressed up like Brahmanas, you are pretending to be Brahmanas, but actually you are not Brahmanas. From your physical structure I can see that you are Kshatriyas. And plus you have the marks of carrying the bow on your shoulder. That mark is there. Your arms are so strong. Your legs are so strong. Your chest is broad. Your waist is narrow. And besides that, you came from the back door. And a friend comes from the front door. An enemy comes from the back door. So I knew that You didn't come here as a friend, you came as an enemy. Anyway, since you have come as a Brahmana, I will accept your request. And Krishna said, actually, you can challenge any one of us. Yeah, any three of us. Any one from the three of us. So, Jarasandha said, Krishna, I won't fight with you. You're a coward. You already ran away from the battlefield. Arjun is a kid. Bhima is my equal match. I'll fight with him. So for days together, for 18 days they fought. Day and night, but they could not defeat each other. But Krishna was seeing that Bhima was becoming weaker. So then Krishna picked up a blade of grass and split it, giving an indication what to do to Bhima. So getting that sign, getting that signal, Bhima got Jarasandha, pinned his leg by standing on one leg, by his pressing his feet, and then holding on to the other leg, he actually gave a pull. And as a result of that, Jarasandha's body split up into two. So this is how Jarasandha was killed, and then all these imprisoned kings were released, and arrangement was made for Yudhishthira Maharaj to perform the sacrifice. And Arjun was sent to the east, Nakul, Bhima north, Nakul on the west, and Sahadeva on the south. And this is how four brothers went in four directions and conquered all the kings there. And they brought all the wealth to perform this amazing sacrifice. In this sacrifice, all the kings were invited. And in that Rajasuya Yajna, different personalities were given different assignments. Bhima supervised the kitchen. Duryodhan looked after the treasury. In this, Duryodhan also came and participated and became a part of this yajna. And Sahadev greeted the guests. Nakula procured the needed items. Arjun attended the elders. And Krishna washed the feet of all the guests. So this is the magnanimity of Krishna. Although he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, because of his love for Yudhishthira Maharaj and the Pandavas, he took up such a humble service. All those who came, Krishna washed their feet. Draupadi served the food, and Karna gave out the gifts. So in this way, all these important personalities had various important assignments. The Rajasuya Yajna was performed. And in that Rajasuya Yajna, there is a consideration of offering the argha, the plate of honor, to the most important person, the most exalted person. Sahadev suggested, various proposals were coming, but Sahadev suggested that it should be offered to Krishna. So at that proposal, everyone agreed. Yes. But the one person who did not is Shishupal. He just stood up, said, Krishna, what greatness do you see in him? Nobody even knows what his birth is, in which family he is born. We don't know whether he is a Brahmana or whether he is a Kshatriya or a Vaishya. Some say he is the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, and some say he is the son of Nanda and Jashoda. So in this way we can actually see all the insults that he was hurling to Krishna was perfectly befitting the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Does the Supreme Personality of Godhead have any caste? Does anybody know the Supreme Personality of Godhead properly? No. And then he became very insulting, and he even went to the extent of telling that Vasudeva is fair complexioned, Devaki is fair complexioned. How come his complexion is dark? So in this way he was hurling the insults to Bhima. He couldn't control himself. He just stood up. He was about to kill Shishupal right there. Krishna says, cool down, take it easy. So Krishna sat there, the whole assembly was absolutely silent. And Shishupal just kept on hurling the insults. And then finally, at one point, Krishna let his Sudarshan Chakra go. And the Sudarshan Chakra went and cut the head of Shishupal. And everyone in the assembly saw that Shishupal's soul come out of the body and then merge into Krishna's. So, there is a little background also about Shishupal. Shishupal was actually Krishna's cousin. Shishupal's mother was Vasudeva's sister. And Shishupal was born with 4 arms and 3 eyes. So seeing him, the baby like that, his father Damaghosh, the king of Chedi, he decided to discard that inauspicious looking child. So, but at that time there was an announcement from the sky saying, don't do that. In course of time, this child will become an extremely powerful ruler. He'll become extremely powerful ruler. And his hands and feet, third eye, 2 extra arms, and his third eye also will disappear. It will disappear when he sits on someone's lap, some particular person's lap, then his extra arms and extra eye will disappear. But the person sitting on whose lap, he would lose his extra arms and eye will disappear. He will be killed by that person. So since then, his father kept on placing him on the lap of different kings and other illustrious Kshatriyas. But nothing happened. So one day Krishna came to his cousin's house along with his mother. And when playfully this boy sat on, Krishna kept him on his lap, his extra arms and third eye disappeared. So his mother was very alarmed. She realized that according to the prediction, Krishna will kill him. So her mother requested Krishna, please tolerate all his offenses. Don't take any offense from him. So then Krishna said, okay, I will tolerate his 100 offense in a day. So since then, Shishupal developed an attitude of insulting Krishna whenever he saw him. And here he could not tolerate Krishna. He kept on saying things like, there are so many exalted personalities here. Bhishma is here, Vasdev is here, so many illustrious kings are here. But you are not recognizing any one of them, and you're just offering this honor to this person. So in this way, when he kept on insulting, Krishna actually was counting. 98, 99, 100, pass. Krishna released his Sudarshan Chakra and his head was severed from his body. So this is how Shishupal was killed, and prior to that, Jarasandha also was killed by Krishna's arrangement. So the Rajasya Yajna was performed in a grand way, and then everyone left. But Duryodhana stayed on. Although he became extremely envious, but he stayed on, although he was burning inside seeing their opulence and grandeur. Now this Sabhagriha, the court room of Indraprastha, Yudhishthira Maharaj's court, was built by Mayadhanava. Mayadhanava was rescued by Arjuna. And that's why Mayadhanava became indebted to Arjuna. And he told Arjuna that whenever you need anything from me, please call me. So when it came to building this city, Arjuna remembered Mayadhanava. And Mayadhanava actually built this city of Indraprastha. And this assembly house of Yudhishthira Maharaj was had a very unique, very unusual feature. That is, a liar would see this place in a reverse way. For example, there is water and there is land. But a person who is sinful and a liar, he would see the water as land and land as water. So, one day becoming very angry at some servant, Duryodhana came running into that assembly. And when he was walking, some point, he lifted his cloth thinking it was water, but actually it was land, so he felt very embarrassed. So then he started to walk straight. And then someplace when he saw it as land and he wanted to walk straight through, he just fell. And seeing that, Bhima and others, especially Draupadi, started to laugh. So Duryodhana could not tolerate this humiliation. So Duryodhana, although Yudhishthira Maharaj tried to subdue everyone, don't laugh. And he himself gave some dry clothes to wear, dry clothes to Duryodhana to wear. But Duryodhana became so upset and he was burning so, his heart was burning with such envy that he decided to give up his body. So he went, he lit a fire. After leaving that palace, as if going towards Hastinapur on the way, he lit a fire to give up his body. So at that time, the demons from lower planetary systems came to him and said, look, you are our only hope. So don't kill yourself. We will arrange for you to take proper revenge. So that is how Duryodhana was desisted from committing suicide. And it is through their counseling, through these demons from the lower planetary system, Daitas and Rakshasas, it is through their counseling that game of dice was arranged. And in that game of dice, Pandavas, Yudhishthira Maharaj lost everything. He started off in a friendly way, but Yudhishthira Maharaj started to lose, and he became so attached to, he became so caught up in that, that he just kept on staking one after another. Finally he staked his whole kingdom, lost it. He lost everything, so he started to stake his brothers, lost them, staked himself, lost. But still Duryodhana, Shakuni pointed out, no, it was Karna who pointed out, that Yudhishthira, you still have something, your wife, Draupadi. So he staked her also. And you all know what actually happened after that. So, so this is how we see how wonderfully Krishna's pastimes are woven by Yogamaya. Things are happening in such a dramatic way. And ultimately what it teaches, materially whatever happens doesn't really matter. What is the eventual outcome, that is what matters. And when you surrender to Krishna, then everything is going to be glorious. So, this is how we are to surrender to Krishna or oppose to Krishna. Yes, that is the intelligent decision. Thank you. Maybe at this point I will invite questions.